Lily's story. A few months after the defeat of Vega, you accompany Camila back to the Shadow Den after an hour of intense sparring. Please tell me we're done for the day, and I'm not gonna have to fight everyone here. I'm all fighted out. You must stay focused on your training, Lily. If you want to harness your powers, you need to practice. You're like a way less fun Yoda, an Obi-Wan. Camila fixes you with a long stare and you gape at her. Oh, come on! You have to have seen Star Wars. Everyone's seen Star Wars. If we were at war, I would not be nearly as lax with you as I am now. There are rules in vampire society, rules that you need to learn and follow. I know. If you don't follow them, people get hurt. You can count on me. We'll be like partners in crime. Crime is not what we will be doing. Yeah, but partners in rule following doesn't have quite the same ring to it. Camila glances at a clock on the wall and lets out a sigh. Alright, I have to go and meet with the rest of the council. You shall stay here with the other recently turned vampires. Wait, you're leaving me here? What about our training? This task requires the utmost control. Something new vampires lack. But I'm not a new vampire. She quirks an eyebrow at you, an expression you've come to understand means she's amused. You roll your eyes. Okay, but everyone's a new vampire compared to you. I've been a vampire for months now. Whatever this is, I can handle it. No. This is an opportunity for you to meet others like yourself. You should take advantage of that. Camila, I live here. I have plenty of chances to meet other vampires. And have you? Fine, I'll stay. But I know you're ditching me. If this is your attempt to guilt me into taking you with, it's not working. Not even when I look at you like this? You stick your lower lip out and give her your best puppy dog eye. She watches unmoved. No. Was worth a shot. Should everything go smoothly, I'll be back in a few hours and we can resume our practice. As you leave, you make your way deeper into the Shadow Den where you know the newer vampires congregate. I'm just saying, if we could do that, one of us would have figured it out already. There are only 3 of them. A laid-back guy, an overeager one, and a shy-looking girl. Hi! Hey, I've seen you around. You're Lily Spencer, right? I'm Brandon. Will. Jen. I didn't realize you were part of Clan Matsuo, Lily. I wasn't originally, but Adrian was the one who turned me, and then I've been doing a lot of work with Camila lately. But what are y'all doing? Are you playing some kind of game, or? We're trying to figure out which vampire myths are actually true now that we're vampires. Brandon here thinks we can actually turn into bats. That would be so cool, turning into cute little bats and then flying around just like Dracula. See? Well, she gets it. Doesn't make it true. Then let's find out. All we need to do is find a tall building to jump off of. Too bad we can't. Why not? Well, new vampires aren't allowed to leave the Shadow Den. Not without a more experienced vampire around to keep an eye on us. Well, I've been a vampire for longer than all of you. I'd say that makes me experienced. What do you say? Let's get out of here. A short jaunt later, and you arrive at a fancy Italian restaurant, which admittedly smells a little odd. Time to find out if we can really be repelled by garlic. You're quickly seated, and soon a waiter arrives to take your order. What can I get for you? Penne with garlic butter, and order a garlic bread, please. I'll have the mushroom ravioli and a Coke. While the others finish their orders, you turn to Jen, a slow smile making its way on your face. Was that a Twilight reference? She glances around, then leans in conspiratorially as she grins. I was obsessed when I was a teen. I used to dream about getting turned into a vampire. Not that I ever thought it would happen. We have super hearing, Jen. We heard every word of that. I wasn't a big fan of the books, but it would be cool if we all had extra special powers. Maybe we do. You can scan the other patrons, and your gaze landing on a guy sitting by himself eating fettuccine. See that guy over there? Let's try and read his mind. You've got to be joking. We won't know unless we try. I should concentrate really hard. I stare intently at the man, forehead scrunched up in concentration. But all you wind up with is the beginnings of a headache. Okay, maybe some vampires can read minds, but I certainly can't. Me neither. Well, it's not like that was the only weird vampire power they had. Who knows? Maybe someday you'll be able to see into the future. Being weak to Silver's own. You turn to see Will twirling a fork in his hand. You know, silverware isn't typically made with silver anymore, so that doesn't actually prove... Well, some of my jewelry's silver, and I feel totally fine. Maybe it only works on werewolves, then. Hang on! Are werewolves real? Irony that today, Alpha came out. Before you can answer, the waiter returns with your food, and your mouth is instantly watering. Let's see how it tastes. Before you can take a bite, everyone else digs in, and their faces immediately twist in disgust. Ugh. Ew. I was really hoping this one wouldn't be true. I'm sure it's not that bad. You pick up a piece of garlic bread, bite in, only for a nasty taste to fill your mouth, bitter and sour at the same time. You were saying? It's, gross. I have to accept it. I'll never taste delicious garlic bread ever again. Well, at least you still have the memories of when you had it in the past. It's not the same. With an annoyed sigh, Will pushes his plate away and crosses his arms. Is there somewhere else we can go, since nothing here is edible? What about Coney Island? I haven't been there since I was a kid, but I bet we'd actually be able to win the games there now that our senses are heightened. Are you suggesting we cheat? Technically, you're not cheating if you're using something that isn't part of you. No, I'd never. Those games are rigged anyway. Just think of it as evening the odds. Which is how the four of you wind up in front of a booth in Coney Island, trying to knock down milk bottles with a ball. I'll definitely get it this time. She winds up her arm and hurls a baseball at the bottles, but it misses and punches a hole clean through the back of the canopy. Or not. Not to worry, little lady. It happens to the best of us. How about we up the odds? Our next winner will get a giant stuffed corgi. Don't worry, Jen. I'll get it for you. Man tosses you a baseball, and you have to be careful not to accidentally crush it in your hand as you grip it. Here goes nothing. You stare down the stacked bottles on top of a wooden barrel, the vendor's eyes locked on you, while everyone else watches you from the side. Aim for the bottles, aim for the barrel, have Will knock them down. Aim for the bottles. You throw the baseball right at the bottles, it slams into them, shattering them into pieces. Whoa! You broke them! Guess I'm stronger than I look. Now, I believe you owe me a giant stuffed corgi. The booth operator grabs one of the massive stuffed animals hanging above and passes it over. He's perfect. You toss the stuffed animal to Jan, and the four of you continue down the boardwalk. I think it's about time we put flying theory to the test, don't you? And it's a perfect place to do that as the Ferris wheel. But as you turn towards the lit-up attraction, you see a yellow tape covering the entrance, keeping people away. It must be closed. I guess we'll have to try turning in a bath some other time. It doesn't have to be closed, not to us. Are you suggesting we break in and turn it on? We don't even need it to be running. With our strength and speed, we should be able to climb to the top. That does sound like fun. But what if we get caught? Won't we get in trouble? In my experience, everything worth doing is getting into trouble for. So, you're in. Let's do it. You duck under the caution tape and walk up to the base of the Ferris wheel where the structure towers above you. That's gonna be quite a climb. I don't know about this. Don't chicken out on us now, Brandon. We'll take it one step at a time. Screw that, I'll race you to the top. You're on. Will runs up to the nearest support beam, grabs a hold of it, hoisting himself up and starting to climb. I'll jump as high as I can, weave quickly through the metal. You climb right up through the bars, holding the Ferris wheel together as Will does the same. Looks like I'm winning this one. It's not over yet. You scramble after him, and you both wind up at the top at nearly the same time. Guess it's a tie, unless you want a rematch. Not when we just got to the top, no. Well, you're just afraid I'll clobber you. You're not the Incredible Hulk. You sit down on the top of the seats near the top, Will taking the one just in front of you. You guys are crazy. Brandon drops down beside Will, and then Jen finally makes it up. She joins you in your seat. Wow, look at that view. On one side, you can see a building of the city lining the horizon, while the ocean stretches out on the other, reflecting the lights of the rides. It makes you feel small, doesn't it? Are you kidding? Up here, we're on top of the world, looking down at all those little people beneath us. Is this the start of your supervillain monologue? Because I'm kinda digging it. Don't encourage him. What about you, Lily? How does it make you feel? Up here, I feel free. In the real world down there, people expect you to act a certain way, to fit in a box they put you in. And I've never fit into any of those boxes. Fitting in is for losers, anyway. Damn right it is. But it's exhausting, constantly having to deal with other people's expectations. Up here, there are no responsibilities, no one telling you what to do or who you are. You can just be. I think everybody feels that at some point in their life, like people aren't seeing all of you. Then we'll just have to see all of each other. I'm starting to think you're a secret people person, Jen. I don't know about that, but becoming a vampire did help me out of my shell. Believe it or not, I was even shyer than this back when I was human. I could barely order food at a restaurant. I believe it. Ow! Brandon punches his shoulder and you and Jen laugh. Let me guess, Will. You were just like this even before you became a vampire. Yep. I mean, apart from being super strong and super fast. Not me. Before I was turned, I was worried about everything. Future, past, you name it. But now I just feel calm. Hang on. Turning got rid of your anxiety? No fair! I don't think it got rid of it. I think it just changed my perspective. Before I turned, I was just as cool as now. I mean, I didn't have powers, but I was the same nerdy weirdo who ate junk food and got way too angry about Overwatch. Though nearly getting murdered did put a bit of a damper on all that. Someone tried to murder you. Yeah, I got attacked in my apartment. By who? No idea. I never saw them, and they were long gone by the time anyone found me. And then my bestie convinced Adrian to turn me, which pissed off the council, but then Vega turned out to be secretly plotting against them, so here I am. I just got lured out of a bar by one of Praya's clan, and she nearly drained me dry before she turned me. There are worse ways to go. I guess I'm lucky I didn't turn feral. Oh, that's for sure. I got attacked by one. It only managed to claw me, but I'd lost a lot of blood by the time Jax found me. He took out the feral, and then he gave me a choice. I, actually asked to be turned. Seriously? Okay, she can't order food, but asked to be turned. I caught one of the clanless feeding, and when I didn't run away screaming, we wound up talking and eventually became friends. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I knew I wanted to stay with her, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it either. Sure, I might not have given or gotten to decide for myself that this is what I wanted, but I got these amazing powers and I got a ton of cool new friends. I had to drink blood of a living being. If anything, that was an added bonus. What? I write fanfiction, Brandon. Blood drinking is sexy. Someone clearly hasn't read Interview with a Vampire. You stretch your arms and hoist yourself out of the seat and on one of the Ferris wheel's beams. Okay, all the existential talk is making me feel like I'm in the episode of Twilight Zone. So, why don't we do what we came here to do? Time to see if we can actually fly. Or become bats. Brandon peers over the edge from a seat and grimaces. Second thought, I think I'm just gonna climb down. Suit yourself. I'll meet you down there. I'll leap to the next seat, all the way to the ground. You throw yourself off the top of the Ferris wheel, letting out the most exhilarating scream as you start to fall. Woohoo! But as you plummet through the air, nothing changes, and you smash into the ground behind the ride, the force cracking the sidewalk. Superhero landing! Will hits the ground beside you, making a crater of his own. I think you mean super villain landing. Jen, pouting by the time she and Brandon join the two of you back on the ground. I feel like we're on the lamest episode of Mythbusters, where nothing turns out to be true. I hate it when Will's right. You climb the Ferris wheel with your vampire abilities. Don't let it get you down. We're still pretty damn impressive, even if we can't fly. There's not a human alive who can compete with us. The moon is high in the sky by the time you, Jen, Will, and Brandon settle on one of the park benches. We should probably head back to the Shadow Den soon. What, you're kidding? The night's still young. Someone's bound to notice we're missing. And I'm not too keen on finding out what weird kind of sword training Jax thinks is a punishment. I guess we could go back if you all want to. But a couple passes by, their whispers immediately catching your attention. Come on, you weren't impressed? I found out the location of the underground wrestling ring? I'd be more impressed if you were actually doing any of the fighting. Or we could see what those guys are about to get up to. Come on! Before they can respond, you take off after the couple, tailing them through the streets. You follow them to the basement of a shop where a rowdy crowd cheers on teams of two as they go head to head. We gotta get in that ring! You can't seriously be considering. Of course I am, and Jen's gonna be my teammate. What? But I've never wrestled before, and I don't want to hurt anyone. Don't worry. It's all fake anyway. No one actually gets hurt. You just pretend to hit people and get hit back. It's all scripted. But I didn't get a script. You don't need one, just improv. There's thunderous applause as the current match wraps up and all the winners stand tall above the crowd. Alright, who wants to take on the Thunder and Stone Cold Shannon next? We do. All eyes turn towards you as you tug Jan up to the edge of the ring. And what are your names? Oh shoot, I better come up with a badass wrestler name and quick. Landslide Lily. Landslide Lily, huh? And how about your friend? Jan looks over at you with a wide, panicked eyes. She's Count Cullen. You know what? She likes Twilight, why not? I don't get it. Cullen, like, from Twilight? He stares blankly and you shake your head. My jokes are wasted on these people. Well, I think it's funny. Let's let Lily and Count Cullen get in the ring. Hell yeah, this is gonna be like the top kicks, the boulder's ass in Avatar. Don't count on it. You pull yourself up and over the ropes on the outside of the ring while Shannon ducks under them. Rules are, first team to pin both opponents wins. Ready? I was born ready. Right, let's do this. The bell rings out and Shannon goes for Jen while thunder springs at you. You easily dodge out of the way, everything seems to move in slow motion around you. My turn. I should throw him against the side of the ring, tackle him onto the ground, sweep his legs. You whip your leg out to kick his feet from under him, only to send him pinwheeling through the air. Ah! He crashes loudly to the ground, smashing his face into the floor in the process. Ouch. Might have overdone it there. The thunder sits up, clutching his nose. You see a trickle of blood stream down his chin. You take a step closer to help him up when the sweet scent washes over you, making your fangs extend in hunger to fill you. I have to fight it. You force yourself to stay frozen in place, but you can still see the ruby liquid dripping down his face. I'll look away. You look away, but you can still hear the droplets of blood as they fall to the ground. Get away. Keep it together, Lil. Just as you get your hunger in check, there's a sharp cry of panic from behind you. What the hell? You turn to see Jen. Lips pulled back in a snarl. She stares at the blood pouring from the wrestler's nose. Jen! Fangs bared, eyes glowing. She charges right at the injured wrestler and lets out a scream. Ah! Get between Jen and the wrestler. Restrain Jen. Get between Jen and the wrestler. You throw yourself between Jen and the wrestler and she slams into you. Your feet skid against the floor of the ring as you hold her back, keeping a tight grip on her shoulders. Snap out of it, Jen. I know you don't want to hurt these people. Screams fill the basement as people make a mad dash for the stairs, the wrestler vaulting out of the ring with his partner close behind. Will, Brandon, get everyone out of here. We're trying. But there's only one way out, and the many people are pushing and shoving, keeping most of them trapped inside. Jen jerks against you, slamming her elbow right into your gut and making you double over. You lose your grip on her, and she yanks away, heading right for the crowd of helpless humans. No! That's enough! Camila! Camila flits down the stairs into the crowd with ease and grabs a hold of Jen's arms. Jen jerks, trying to free herself, but Camila wrenches her arms behind her back and holds her in place with ease. All of you. Out. Some of the people stood still, staring, but when her voice echoes through the room, they all rush to obey. Once the people are finally gone, taking their blood with them, Jen slowly sags in Camila's arms and seems to come back to herself. What happened? You lost control. She looks around the room, her eyes slowly widening as she sees the destruction. What destruction? All she did was try and eat the man, that's it. Oh no, did I hurt anyone? You probably gave a dozen people the fright of their lives, but I don't think anyone got hurt. Lily kept you from doing any major damage. Tell that to the people who ran out of here screaming. I smelled the blood and I couldn't control myself. That is precisely why we do not allow newly turned to wander freely without an experienced vampire. She turns her steely cold gaze on you and you can't help but shrink. Camila, it was an accident. I didn't think. That's just it, you don't think. What if I had not been here? How many of you would have died? She lets go of Jen, and Brandon hurries to her side, putting an arm around her shoulders. The three of you will go straight back to the Shadow Den. Is that understood? Yes, ma'am. We'll tell Jax what happened. They head for the door, pausing just outside of it to look back at the two of you. Thank you, Camila, for stopping me. Just promise me you three will take this lesson to heart. We will, but don't be too hard on Lily. She was just trying to make us all feel better. Jen... Camila dismisses them with a wave, and after a few moments she leads you out of the basement without a word. You cross the city in silence, the stress making your stomach churn until you can't take it anymore. Please tell me you're just gonna yell at me because I don't think I can take a Mufasa, you deliberately disobeyed me speech. She fixes you with a glare. Sorry, I use humor to cope with my anxiety. You and me both. She lets out a sigh and runs a hand through her hair. You did disobey me. So what do you have to say for yourself? I should have listened to you. Which part? About staying at the Shadow Den until you got back? Well, that certainly would have prevented this. That is not the lesson I want you to walk away with. Then what? What have I been drilling into you since we started our training? Following the rules? Precisely. Okay, but didn't Adrian break those rules when he turned me? Yes. And you will recall how that nearly got both him and yourself killed in the process. The Council's rules are not arbitrary, Lily. It's not some twisted way for us to exert power over our clans. The rules exist to keep us and the humans around us safe. I get that. But they're also isolating. It's not that I don't enjoy your company, Camila, but I've hardly seen anyone other than you these last few months. All I've done is go between your place and the Shadow Den, over and over again. If you wish to do something different, all you had to do was ask. Oh, come on. I know for a fact if I asked you to take all the new vampires to Coney Island, you would have said no. I'm sure I could have found someone to take you. That's part of the problem, though. I don't want to feel like I'm a chore you have to do. I still want to feel like I'm my own person. I suppose you may have a point. This is a challenging time for you all, and perhaps our strict methods are not as beneficial as we would like. I just wish there was some ways to connect with other vampires, you know? Like, newly turned could bond over what they're going through, and we could get advice from vampires with more experience than us. Wasn't that the whole point of email? No one uses email to chat anymore. I do. That's because you're old. But even as you tease her, her proposal swirls around your brain, turning into something new. That's it. Camila, you're a genius. I am, but you do not need to say it. I'm going to build a social media site for vampires, a place where we can all gather to be together, even when we're not actually together. And I know just what I'm going to call it. That's it. That's all. That's all we get. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below. Links to social media and a bunch of stuff to check out. Ways to become a part of the community, to help back, to give to the channel and the community. With that being said, this is where I would typically rant. I'm not. That's it. Thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.